So even Dr. Fauci now admits that COVID-19 might have come out of a Wuhan lab, not out of a meat market, not naturally, so to speak, jumping from bats to other animals to humans, but rather a manufactured virus negligently let loose by the Chinese through the Wuhan lab. Listen.
That has been the subject of a lot of our fact checking on the coronavirus for the past year. And like you said, there's a lot of cloudiness around the origins of COVID-19 still. So I wanted to ask, are you still confident that it developed naturally?
No, actually, that's the point that I said. And I think the real unfortunate aspect of what Senator Paul did is he was conflating research in a collaborative way with Chinese scientists, which was, you'd almost have to say if we did not do that, we would almost be irresponsible, because SARS-CoV-1 clearly originated in China, and we were fortunate to escape a major pandemic. So we really had to learn a lot more about the viruses that were there, about whether or not people were getting infected with bad viruses. So in a very minor collaboration, as part of a subcontract of a grant, we had a collaboration with some Chinese scientists. And what he conflated that is that therefore we were involved in creating the virus, which is the most ridiculous, majestic leap I've ever heard of. But no, I'm not convinced about that. I think that we should continue to investigate what went on in China until we find out, to the best of our ability, exactly what happened. Certainly, the people who've investigated say it likely was the emergence from an animal reservoir that then infected individuals, but it could have been something else, and we need to find that out. So, that's the reason why I said I'm perfectly in favor of any investigation that looks into the origin of the virus.
Now, here's Fauci with his usual duck and weave, his usual jabs at Senator Rand Paul. And he seems to be taking the position that, yes, the United States does fund so-called gain-of-function research. Another way of saying the United States does contribute to making deadly viruses. And yes, the Chinese, too, were doing this kind of research. And yes, there were collaborations between the U.S. labs and the Chinese labs, but it's relatively minor, according to Fauci. And therefore, the United States is not culpable directly for funding COVID-19 and sort of getting it started, causing, you may say, this global epidemic. But notice what Fauci is admitting. He's admitting that this is a virus that could have come out of this gain-of-function research. It could have come from the Chinese lab. This was part of a project that the United States and the Chinese were in on together, both pursuing this kind of very dangerous research. And what strikes me about all this is not only Fauci's change of position, because earlier Fauci was very confident in saying, no, this virus emerged naturally out of a meat market or something similar to that. And let's remember that these claims by Fauci and also by a bunch of scientists who were collaborating in this research, had a direct stake in it, were very eager to deflect blame from themselves. They had, in other words, an interest in shifting the blame to a sort of natural cause, to the meat market. All of these people, in declaring that the lab theory was misinformation, was debunked, set off a media frenzy of attacking all the people who raised the alternate theory, including Senator Tom Cotton, and also the digital censors. I mean, think about what it means when you declare that a position is misinformation and start banning people and taking down their posts. And of course, the idiocy here is that you don't know that something is misinformation until it's publicly debated. If you won't let the two theories be heard and let the rival arguments stack up one against the other, how do you know which theory is more persuasive? So the digital censors, in a sense, sense, are causing misinformation by, in a sense, awarding the prize to one point of view in advance and then canceling out everybody who argues a rival point of view as though they've already been debunked, as though they've already been proven to be liars. So all of this, I think, as we look back on it, will be seen as part of the sick, demented, one-sided, controlling influence that COVID has had, not just on our life, but also on our ideas, you may say on the life of the mind.